Hello, everybody. Jessie Lucas here of Embodied Movement Training, and I am here for another episode of Conscious Body Conversations with my friend who, if you've been following the series, you know by now, Jen Gutfriend, who is a hypnotherapist and mindset coach. Now, my conversations with Jen have taken us on a journey from specific tools and techniques like hypnotherapy to actually access mindset change. The last one was epigenetics, which if you did not see that one, please go back and watch that one. It is so rich and such, if you aren't on this genomic conversation, it's time. It's the year, uncover that, it's important. One of the main reasons that Jen and I got into these conversations is because the connection between the life we're living and the life that we kind of perceive around us, like, are we living our life, or is our life living us? Now, my own story comes from really creating some powerful changes in emotional pattern, neural patterns through physical functional movement. And what I found when I started kind of from the outside in, peeling back the layers, is when you get to this layer of mindset, which to me felt, I understood it. I understood why it's important. I understand that there's this, hard drive running this show, but I'm really stubborn and I have some pretty set in patterns, and I had no idea how easily accessible and how powerful it can be when you can peel back those curtains and actually do some work in the area of mindset. So I'm going to leave that right there and turn it back over to Jen. Thank you again for being here for the long haul, doing yet another episode with me. And I know it comes down to this. So tell us your take.
Yeah.
Mindset.
Thanks for having me again. And yeah, so I hear people complain all the time about their outer world isn't what they want. So they're working hard, they're doing all the things they're told they need to do to be successful. Because my ideal client, I work with a lot of female entrepreneurs who come to me because they've done it all. They've done what the coaches tell them. They've spent the money. They're burning the candle at both ends. They're doing everything they want to do to be successful, everything they think they're supposed to, and they keep falling short. They keep failing. Things keep happening, and they're so frustrated. They're ready to give up, and it's like, why? And the thing is it doesn't have to be this way. And if you've watched my previous two videos, it's all about that mindset piece. So we talked about in video one about these subconscious programs, and that's what's holding you back. So for me in business, it was that belief of not being enough. And I also had this other belief that good things would be taken away. So why even bother? So I would get nice things, but then they're taken away. So it's easier not to have them than it is to have them and lose them. So I had a business in my 20s that when I first started it, it started doing really well. I was getting clients, I was making good money. And then all of a sudden something happened where I didn't want to work in the business anymore. I started sabotaging myself, and then it's like, okay, I can't do this. So I started working harder because, again, money, I had created this belief as a child because my dad was away all the time. We had money, but he had to be away all the time to make it. So I created this other belief. I have to work hard. So I started working harder, working longer hours, putting more in, to the point where I was almost 30 and my body was shutting down because I had pushed myself too far. I was trying to be everything to everybody. I was trying to be perfect, and I was trying to make all these things in my life happen. And yet I was fighting against myself. And as long as I was fighting against myself, nothing was ever going to be, possible. And I see this in my clients all the time. They come to me and say, you know what, I start getting success and I sabotage myself. I don't show up. I'm afraid to get on camera. And these are all mindset blocks that are going on in our mind. Things that say it's not safe to be visible. I hear that from women all the time. That comes up in hypnosis sessions. It wasn't safe to be visible as a child. I was told children are supposed to be seen and not heard. So when they go to jump on a Facebook Live, they freeze up and they go, no, I don't want to do that today. Or they start making money like I did. I remember after I shut down my business, I got this job offer, and it was like 30 or 40% more than I had made in any other job. And I'm thinking like, wow, this is awesome. And within 2 years, I got myself fired because in my mind, I didn't believe I deserved it. I didn't think I was worth that extra money. So I did stupid shit to get myself sabotaged. And this showed up in other areas of my life. With men, I dated these men who treated me like garbage because I had this belief that I wasn't worthy and I wasn't enough. So the thing is if you're not happy with your outer world, it's caused by your mindset. Something inside of you is saying, this is all you think you deserve. This is all you're worth. This is all that you can have. So instead of getting mad or working harder or giving up, stop fighting it and start understanding where it's coming from. Where is this thought coming from? Why is this happening to me? And a lot of times these are generational patterns. You'll see, generation after generation. That's why a lot of these, when I talk about epigenetics, about things aren't actually truly genetic, but that's why they show up as genetic, is because we're programming that next generation with our same mental programs. So of course they're going to manifest the exact same kinds of physical and mental illnesses, is because it's through their mental programming. So myself, my mom's side of the family has at least 3 generations of mental health issues. And I'm the first now in that generation to stop that, who has ended these mental health issues. And I'm working with my niece to stop her from having these same issues, because I don't want this to continue on. And I know that I can stop that and have that within my power.
This is fascinating to me, because I always look for, okay, well, where's the practical output? I mean, I'm one of those woo-woo people, right? I had a meditation practice before I had a yoga practice. I mean, in college, like that's what I was doing. I was going to the meditation center downtown, like I get it. Like I'm a spiritual person, like I get it. However, also I am a science person, and I need to know, like, where is the practical thing? And hearing those examples you just gave made me think, I don't know why, but it made me think of this example of, okay, if you're talking to somebody who's like really needs, all right, show me the connection, like show it to me where I can actually see it, feel it, touch it, taste it. And someone told me one time, okay, think about your favorite restaurant or your favorite food, and starting describing it this, and then like, you start like actually physically salivating. I'm like, there's spit in my mouth now, that kind of thing. And I'm like, oh, I'm not at the restaurant. I don't smell the food. I'm not going to eat it today. Like, and there's a very physiological reaction that just happened. Or I think about, like when I get nervous about something, or like something really important's about to happen, and I feel that like, those like, it's like half butterflies, half roller coaster, like stomach churning feeling. I'm like, all I did was think about it. All I did was think about this thing that's going to happen. And like, my stomach turned again. Like there was a very like immediate, obvious, undeniable connection between I had a thought and then I had a physiological reaction, and all of a sudden I was blown out of the water. I'm like, how then can we ignore that our thoughts have such an impact on our day-to-day decisions, our day-to-day circumstances, and the repetition, right? Our bodies, I know, are designed to happen on habit, like the same program runs over and over and over again. If you had to think about how do you reach to pick up your glass of water, if you had to think about every single step, you wouldn't do it. Like we need these repeating patterns that kind of just happen in order to function. And all of a sudden, like when I had that like salivation moment, or that stomach churning moment, I realized like, what is happening behind the scenes that I'm not paying attention to, or I don't have access to actually comprehend, that's running the show here, that's running the show of my physical health and well-being, that's running the show of the decisions that I make, and that's running the show of then the life circumstances that I live in. And holy cannoli, like it made something that seemed so esoteric and incomprehensible so practical and real. And the way that you just described it kind of like made that land for me. And I hope that the people watching, the people listening to this can get that connection, because I think one of the things I'm seeing in this video series is there's not only is there a theme of ease and accessibility, which I mentioned in one of our other videos, but there's a theme of empowerment, that if you can kind of peel back the curtains on your mindset and realize how accessible and practical it is to make some tweaks and changes, that's empowering. You can change so much in the world around you. I mean, your story is a prime example about that. So wrap that up and then like bring that home for us. I know we could talk all day about this, but to keep this kind of short and sweet, bring this to a place of what's one thing that when somebody's either maybe they have some experience with mindset and they want to take it to the next level, or this is kind of a new conversation, what's like your most powerful like hack to that we can walk away with, and then make sure we, you know, let people know where they can find you. They probably already did because they watched the other shows that we did, but where can we find you?
Yeah, so the mindset, again, it goes back to that subconscious mind. So our outer actions are a result of our inner thoughts and our inner beliefs, which are housed in that subconscious. So if you really want to start making changes, start paying attention to the thoughts that are popping in your mind. Those thoughts of, oh, I don't deserve this. I'm not good. I can't have that. That's not available to me. Just really start paying attention to those negative thoughts. I, for the longest time, kept a journal. I had a little notepad in my phone where I started writing them down, because when you start seeing these thoughts, it's that awareness, and you see how often, because when you pay attention to something, you see it. And when you start writing these things down and you see what you're saying to yourself, I tell women, don't ever say something to yourself you wouldn't say to your best friend. So look at these words and imagine you're saying those to your best friend, and just think of what's happening. How would you affect that person's life if you kept saying these things to them? But you're saying them to yourself, so it's the exact same thing. So be conscious of what you're saying to yourself. And when you are, you'll start making different patterns, you'll start making different thoughts, and you'll actually want more.
I love that. Oh, that feels so sweet. You just made that feel so sweet. Thank you so much. For the folks who want to learn more, I know this is some of the work that you do, and I know you have some great resources. Where can we find you?
Sure, you can find me on social media at Live Your Remarkable Life. That's my website as well. And you can find me on Clubhouse at Mindset Coach Jen.
Awesome. Please follow Jen. Go soak up all of her goodness. And if you want to learn more about the work that I do in embodied movement, kind of using movement to change some of those patterns, those underlying patterns, you can find me at embodiedmovementtraining.com. Or if you're seeing this on social, just click on over to my profile and say hello in my inbox. Thank you, Jen, so much. You have delivered so much goodness through these 3 little episodes that we did. I know there's so much more. I won't be surprised if there's more to come in this collaboration down the line. So thank you so much. And thank you everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode and tune in for the next one. Thanks, everyone.